Hello and welcome to the first part of a three-part video information literacy session specifically for HS510. This is Jamie Donnelly, Georgian Court University Social Sciences librarian, and I will be doing your instruction for all three videos. Our first part, we will actually be reviewing the library catalog and retrieving physical as well as some electronic resources that we do have available to you in the library for your graduate research. To follow along, please go to georgian.edu. Once we are there, we are going to hover over Library. We are going to go to Library Catalogs, and we're going to select our GCU Discovery Catalog. And welcome! This is our brand new library catalog. We're pretty excited about it. Our old one was actually very clunky and had been around for almost 20 years. So as you can see, this lovely interface is very clean and reminds a lot of our users of Google. It actually works similar to Google as well, which we will be doing in our search. So always make sure that the Georgian Court Library is selected, as opposed to libraries worldwide. What happens is if you select libraries worldwide and search a specific topic, perhaps we may have available an ebook, or a book, or streaming video or DVD on your particular topic. But if you select libraries worldwide, you may miss out on that particular material. So it's always wise to always go to your home library, which is your Georgian Court Library. So let's go ahead with my example. So I'm interested in writing a paper about risk prevention when it comes to natural disasters. So some of you may be used to in Google, when you search Google, putting in statements. Maybe you might put risk prevention when it comes to natural disasters when you search through Google. That's actually incorrect. What occurs is if you put a statement in this particular search box up here, what happens is that the catalog, or in future reference, the databases for journal articles, will actually search the term when it comes to, and then it won't find materials on your topic. So always select the major terms of your topic, and I always recommend to any of my students to please write it down. See which topic and terms might help you with your research, because authors may use different terms. So again, my topic is, I'd like to write a paper about risk prevention when it comes to natural disasters. So my two major terms would be risk prevention and natural disasters. So how do I search on books on this particular topic? I could simply type in those two terms in this particular box, but let's investigate the advanced search. Let's select advanced search. So down here, we're going to enter search terms, specifically keywords. So for the first one, I'm going to type in risk prevention. It's actually pre-selected for me, but I'm just going to go ahead and type it in here. Our second term is natural disasters. So again, I'm going to select keyword and type in natural disasters. And actually it's already designated over here when I was doing a trial run. So we have risk prevention and natural disaster for keywords. You may want to select, sometimes students are instructed to only do, say, from 1980 to 2013. But for right now, I always like to tell students, be pretty broad in your search. You can always narrow it down. Perhaps you want to know about risk prevention natural disasters, but only in French. So you may want to select that as well. But again, for our example, we're going to be pretty broad and just see what kind of books we have on risk prevention and natural disaster. So let's select search and see what comes up. 579 results come up. They include articles as well as 5 books. Now, I never want to discourage you from using these articles. However, we do have our databases that provide a much more substantial amount of quality articles. These articles, if we selected those and viewed them, we may not have access to them, or they may not be scholarly in quality. Again, I highly recommend, once you kind of get more esteemed into using searching for articles specifically, I recommend that you can use the catalog for our articles. But for our example today, we simply just want to look at books. So let's reduce our formats to only our 5 books. You will also notice on the left-hand side that you can reduce your search by authors and by years, as well as the language as provided before, and specific topics. Let's say that there is an author that you know of that has written several books on a specific topic you're interested in researching. If that author comes up, you can always select them, and then only their books will appear. So let's review what we have here. We do have 5 books that discuss on risk prevention and natural disaster. And when I'm looking at these titles of these books, number 1 and number 3 look pretty good. Let's investigate them a little bit more before I get up from my desk or I leave my office and go to the library to obtain these books. So let's select number 1. We're going to kind of, as I said, dissect or look at these records of these books. You have the title of the book, you have the author. It's pretty important to note the publishing date. You know, how recent is this particular book? Then we have a summary. Another term for summary, which is often used in articles more so than books, is abstract. So if you see that term abstract, it's just a nice research term for summary. This particular record actually provides us a publisher's description, a table of contents, and some further information. Let's scroll down a little bit more. To find this in the library, this is probably one of the most important aspects of a record, and the one that's most often students kind of neglect. They'll come to me and say, "Miss Donnelly, I have this book, I have the title," or I'll have the call number of the book, usually about half the call number. Where is it? Well, you didn't write down the key information. It's important to note the title, the author. Usually you can just do the author's last name, that's fine. And then the 2 major portions that students always forget to get is where in the library it is. So this is actually in the circulating collection. And then the full call number. Now you may remember in undergrad that you use the Library of Congress classification system, which starts with letters and ends with numbers, as opposed to Dewey Decimal System, which is usually found in public libraries or community colleges. That's actually only numbers, excuse me. So it's important for you to write down the full call number and to note where in the library. We know it's in the Georgian Court Library, where it's located at. Okay? Let's scroll down a little bit more because I want to just make sure that this is a good quality book from my research. The contents notes over here are usually the titles of specific chapters or articles in the book. So it's pretty important to note. When it comes to academic books, they're usually very specific. So it's important to see what kind of information is provided in these chapters. You may retrieve a book and perhaps a sentence or 2 in the book will be obtained to your specific subject. However, you kind of want to see if maybe there's a chapter or 2 on it. Let's move down and investigate related subjects. So we did write down our 2 subjects, risk prevention and natural disaster. Those are quality good subject terms for my topic. However, a lot of times you may get stuck. You may be using the wrong terms, or you're only using a term that an author or 2 has used, and there's actually more proper terms. So in regards to this particular topic, we have emergency management, disasters and government policy, risk management. Instead of risk prevention, the proper term actually is risk management, hazard migration, terrorism, and the list goes on. So you may, perhaps this is the only book that you have obtained for your particular subject, you may want to select some of these other related subjects that will point you in a different direction or further information and materials. So let's scroll up and let's actually return to our results. Oops, right here, return to search results. I was interested in one more book that we have. Okay, it's updating our information. So we just actually looked at number 1. I think it's pretty good. It actually kind of sounds like it goes with my topic, but I would like obviously another one. So we're going to scroll down to number 3. The Handbook of Hazards and Disaster Risk Reduction. We have the authors. It's actually a fairly recent book. And off to our right, as well as off down to our bottom of our record, right over here, there are several different subject terms that discuss risk prevention and natural disaster. So we have risk assessment, hazard migration, and emergency management. Those are subject terms that relate to this particular topic. As I can see, it's located in the reference collection. Our reference collection unfortunately cannot be checked out because it's usually a more general type of material, such as an encyclopedia, a book on statistics, or other background information. The call number is located over here, and again the notes remind me that it is in the reference section of the library. I highly recommend, especially when you're doing your specific topic in Homeland Security, that these reference books are really great at providing you hardcore base of statistics, as well as background, as well as suggestions of different types of organizations or government departments that could provide you further information on your topic, which we'll actually be reviewing in a later section when we're looking at using the web in your particular class. So down over here we have our contents. Again, take a look. There's plenty of information. And reviewing all these topics, it kind of sounds like, hazard, risk, and climate change. When I'm looking at risk prevention and natural disasters, that sounds like a very solid, good, a solid topic. So we're going to scroll down and just make sure there's some editorial reviews and notes, and then there's those related subjects. So I have 2 quality material books, in a sense, that I could use for my topic to start my research. I always highly recommend that if by chance you are very stuck on your topic, and let's say number 1 is the only one that you have, remember, select those subjects. Let's select emergency management. And you will notice that 18 books actually appear on that particular topic. So look, when I did my search for risk prevention and natural disaster, number 1, Hurricane Katrina, a nation still unprepared, did not come up. So investigate those related subject terms for further information. This actually concludes our example of using the Georgian Court University Library catalog. Please go to the session number 2 for further research information.